Hello guys, I'm Versi, and this is the annual video every year since 2019 whenever EA drops the FC trailer. 10 reasons why you shouldn't buy the game, and it's okay, you're gonna buy it in the end anyway, no problem. But maybe I can't change your mind this time because they really have a good reasons, especially the 10th one. It's actually gonna convince you, just stay till the end and don't forget to like and subscribe and let's go.
Let's start with that promise EA makes every year. We have listened to you. The company always presents a speech centered around community opinions and the game being driven by players' aspirations or based on their feedback. But it always ends up being just the same old promise, even if it's presented in a new form. What we see this year is essentially a copy-paste version of what was said last year. The company's need to declare that it has listened to the players every year indicates that it hasn't actually addressed anything from the previous year.
And the second thing that got me is they are selling reducing AI automation like it's a feature. They are advertising less automatic player movement and more manual control like it's a huge innovation. That's not innovation, that's just them finally giving you back control they took away years ago. I'm not going to celebrate a company unpacking something they broke in the first place. And then to prove they actually added something new to this game, they gave us the grounds, which sounds new until you realize you've seen it before. Yes, they folded Volta and Rush into one social hub and call it the grounds. Anyone who's played NBA 2K The City for the last several years is going to look at this and immediately recognize exactly where the idea came from. This isn't football innovation, it's the EA bolting a hangout mode in the football game because that's the trend right now. And then they tell us playstyles are getting rebalanced, which means they were broken to begin with. Last year's version had playstyles that turned into mandatory metas, and now they're trying to quietly walk it back without admitting it was broken in the first place. This happens every single year with a different mechanic. It's never actually solved, it's just moved around. Here's the one that actually annoys me the most. Through balls are still broken. Through balls have been overpowered on the counterattack for years in this franchise. Players have been asking for it to be toned down for years, and from everything coming out of early testing, it's still just as dangerous as ever. So while they're busy rebalancing things nobody complained about as much, the one mechanic everyone's been begging them to fix is sitting there completely untouched. And even if you're okay with all of that, the post-launch patches will change everything anyway. Every year it's the same story. The game feels great for the first 1 or 2 weeks. Then the patches start rolling in one after another, quietly rewriting how the entire game plays, until the version you fell in love with at launch doesn't even exist anymore by the time the season's halfway through. If you know this is coming, why would you buy in on week 1 and in offline mode? Career mode got a rebuilt transfer market, but that was never the real problem. Yes, they've added more realistic valuations and active bidding from rival clubs. That's a nice touch. But career mode's actual problem was never the transfer market numbers. It's that the mode has felt lifeless and repetitive for years. A better spreadsheet behind the scenes doesn't fix that on its own. And speaking of problems they keep ignoring, the scripting issue still there just with a different name every year. People have been talking about this for years now and it never really gets addressed, it just gets rebranded under a different system, a different buzzword. Same core problem, new marketing label. And if you want the perfect example of that, look at FUT. They gave it a new gallery, but the mode itself works exactly the same way it always did. A new If You Eat gallery sounds exciting until you realize it's a new coat of paint on the same system that's been printing money for EA for over a decade. Nothing underneath it actually changed. And finally, the price. This is the one that should make you stop and think. The Ultimate Plus edition this year is $150. That is the most expensive single edition EA has ever charged for one game in their entire history. And what do you get for that extra money? FC points, cosmetic bonuses, and a handful of early access days. You're being asked to pay double to test out the exact same recycled promises a few days earlier than everyone else. So that's the list. And honestly, I could keep going. Every year, this franchise promises something different, and every single year it ends up being the same cycle all over again, just with a higher price tag. Let me know in the comments. Am I being too harsh, or is this exactly what's going to happen again? It's Versi with you, and peace.